My mom spoke in a dead language last night. I moved back home after my divorce so that I could save money and focus on getting my career in order. It's been tough, but I'm managing. Get by on ramen noodles and old habits. My mom has been doing her best to help me out, even though she doesn't always understand. Why? I need to do things like put salt in my ice cream, or why I refuse to wear pants when I leave the house. It was nice to be able to come home after a hard day and know that she would always have a hot meal ready for me, and that I didn't have to clean up after myself. She would always just take care of everything while I sat on the couch and watched TV. Now, my mom is an avid collector of antiques and knickknacks. While most of the stuff she collects is worthless, there are a few items that actually hold some real value. One of these valuable items is an antique gramophone. This thing is easily over 100 years old, and it looks like something that would belong in a horror movie. 8. Sits in the corner of our living room silently judging us, collecting dust and occasionally playing old records on its own. We don't know how to make it stop doing that. It just shows up with the music playing every now and then, usually around 3 a.m.
Oh, my mom has always been a little off.
She used to spend all of her time reading old books about magic and alchemy. She still spends a lot of time doing that. The difference now is that she also spends a lot of time talking to her plants, which she also collected a lot of. She says that she can communicate with them, and they tell her things about the world, things that I don't understand. Lately, I've been hearing her talking to the gramophone in the same way that she talks to her plants. Sometimes I hear the gramophone responding. I've never heard my mom speak like this before. It sounds like she's speaking in a dead language, one that I've never heard before. Sometimes I can make out a word here and there, but for the most part it all just sounds like gibberish to me. One night I got home from the grocery store right around dinner time. As I opened the front door, I could hear my mom talking to the gramophone in that weird language. It was coming from inside the record. That's where the sound always seemed to come from. I walked into the kitchen, and she was sitting at the table eating dinner, while the gramophone sat on the table next to her, humming softly. It wasn't really loud, but it was definitely on. She looked at me and gave me a warm smile. "Oh, hey honey, you're back early today. How was the store?" Before I could respond, the gramophone stopped making noise, and my mom flinched. She quickly tried to change the subject. "You hungry? I made your favorite." But I was confused. How did she not hear it? Did it only make noise? Did I imagine it? Well, either way, I guess I was hungry because we ate in silence for a moment until my mom broke the quiet. "So, what did you get at the store?" I told her what I got, and we started talking normally again. Whatever was bothering her seemed to be gone. But lately, those moments had been happening more and more frequently. I'd come home from work and find her talking to the gramophone in that weird language, speaking as if someone had responded to her. And it would always stop the second that I walked in. I couldn't tell if she was ignoring me or if she was just having a conversation with the gramophone. But I was starting to get pissed off about it. I didn't tell her anything, though. Instead, I went to my room and laid down on my bed trying to forget about it. But it didn't help. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined my mom standing in front of me saying things in a dead language. That night I woke up in the middle of the night, and I could hear my mom talking in that weird language again. I listened closely, and I could make out some of the words. "Tell me," she said. "Tell me what I want to know. Tell me about him. Is he happy? Does he think about me?" It sounded like she was asking questions that only the gramophone could answer. I rolled over in my bed and tried to go back to sleep, but it didn't work, so I got out of bed and quietly left my room. As I walked down the hallway towards my mom's room, I could hear the gramophone start to hum. I slowly opened the door and peeked inside. There was my mom sitting in her chair with the gramophone beside her. It was glowing a faint red color, and the record was moving without any wind from a fan or anything. It was like the record was being turned by hand. I stepped into the room and asked, "Mom, what are you doing?" She jumped slightly in surprise. "Oh, hi, honey. I didn't hear you come in. I was just talking to your father." She gestured towards the gramophone. He was telling me about his day. I was confused. She's still talking in that weird dead language. What was he saying? She looked down at her hands for a moment. Oh, just that he's happy and that he misses me. Wanted to know if I was happy. The record stopped spinning and the glow faded from the gramophone. "It's almost done, isn't it?" my mom whispered. "Soon it will be complete." I felt a shiver go down my spine. What did she mean by that? Had the gramophone been whispering to her this whole time? Was it trying to contact my dad? Or was it my dad contacting it? Either way, it didn't feel right, and I didn't want to stick around to find out what my mom and the gramophone were planning. I left the room and shut the door behind me. Now, whenever I come home from work, I can't help but feel like the gramophone is watching me, waiting for me to leave so that it can whisper secrets to my mom about me. I don't know what's going on, but it's starting to scare me.